Hey everyone, so today's video is going to be quite different, as you can probably tell by the title, apart from me wearing a singlet or a tank top, as most people would probably call it. There's a lot of videos on YouTube that are around the coming out, and I think that's great. I think it's fantastic that YouTube is a platform to give LGBT people and other historically repressed minorities a voice to communicate to an audience and connect with an audience on the internet. I know there's a lot of criticism around the coming out now being a marketing thing. Look, as someone who's done that before, gone through that experience, it is an emotional journey for those people to go through. There might be a little inkling of marketing stuff there, but it's an important thing to go through. What is just as important is what comes before the coming out, and that is the experience of being in the closet. And I think that's just as important to talk about, because a lot of people that are watching those coming out videos and feeling isolated because they haven't reached that point yet are in this period called in the closet. So I thought I would just talk really genuinely, just me and you, about my experience. It's basically a process of accepting yourself, because coming out is when you're comfortable with that and you're telling people that this is who you are. There is nothing wrong with being in the closet, and at this point in time, it is an essential part or rite of passage for an LGBT plus person. It's very important for you to understand yourself, because we live in a world where people assume that you're heterosexual, and it's still weird that it still happens today. But I remember when I first started to encounter feelings for other guys was when I was going through puberty, and I just had started to do, when you did like sex ed classes, as minimal as it was, I just started to have this fascination with men and the male form. And initially I just thought it was curiosity because I didn't know much about it regardless. I was quite young. After a period of time, I recognized that what I was doing wasn't acceptable to the people around me. And I mean, that in itself is an indication that the world that I live in and everything about it, all the stuff that's being communicated to me is, you have to be heterosexual, you have to be this way, you have to, if you're a male, you like girls, you do this. And I started to force myself to try and be interested in girls. And particularly when you've got peers, friends who are going, oh, what girl are you interested in? Or who do you think's hot? Which girl do you think's hot? And you've got people asking you if you've got a girlfriend, or everything's directed towards that. That pressure is huge. And that's a lesson to people who are, say, heterosexual and are saying these things out loud. Yes, it's language. It may not seem like anything to begin with, but every time you say something to someone who you don't know what their sexuality is, you are adding a weight onto their shoulders, and you're adding another one, and you're adding another one, and soon it's going to hit their head, and it's going to start weighing down their head, and they're going to go through some really dark thoughts. Try and use neutral terminology when you're talking about things like a partner as opposed to a girlfriend or boyfriend. It's gender neutral. That might be a little bit of a tangent, but this period for me went for 3 or 4 years. When I hit the final year of high school, I kind of just ignored the fact that this was happening to me, because I just wanted to focus on my grades and get a really good grade and get into the university degree that I wanted to get into. And that's what I did. I just sort of ignored it. And then in university, that's where that came back up, accepting myself, because you go from a private school, which is very gated and very closed, to university, where it's, and an arts degree as well, where you've got pretty much all forms of people from all parts of your city or around the country or even internationally going to study the same thing as you. During this period, you may be suffering in silence and you may feel like you are completely alone, but I can guarantee you, first of all, this is an essential part of what you have to go through, okay? It is very essential, and it is a learning experience. It's a growing experience. To use a corny term, there will be light at the end of the tunnel, and the night is darkest just before the dawn, just to put in a Dark Knight reference there, because you will see the light, and you will be a strong person by the end of it. You're also not the only person that is feeling isolated. There are so many people around you that you probably don't even know about who are also struggling with who they are, their sexuality, what they're interested in. Why do I like penis? Why do I like vagina? What's going on? And that's a very normal part of the negotiation that you'll go through in your mind. Just remember that this is a process, and it has to happen on your timeline, not the person next to you, not your family's timeline, not your friend's timeline, your timeline. If it does it in 2 months, it does it in 7 years, it does it in however long, it doesn't matter. It is your experience, it's your life, and it's something that you have to go through. And you'll just know when the time is right to start telling people, because something will happen, or you'll meet someone and you'll just know. But patience is the key. Being in the closet is a thing. It's something that is very important to your development, and it's an experience that you'll look back on because it'll be one of the toughest things you'll ever go through. And knowing that you've done it, and you will probably go to very dark places during that period, thinking that you're hopeless, isolated, meaningless to people, that you'll never find someone. No matter how big the steps that you have to take, you will be a really, really, really strong person after it. And you'll go through the coming out, which is another pretty big experience, obviously. That's all I'll probably say about this. If you had further questions, put them in the comments below. If you want me to perhaps progress on to the next stage and talking about my coming out experience, give this video a thumbs up. And also, please, I know that even if this video doesn't directly relate to you, you may have people that follow you on Twitter or Instagram, or you're friends with on Facebook, where this is really important. So I ask you to share it, tell people to engage with it, that sort of thing, because you're going to be helping people around you. That's all I'm going to say for now. I will see you all very, very soon. And until next time, that's a wrap.